Hello and welcome to a brand new trailer for SnowRunner. Now, we see a ton of new things in this trailer, mainly dedicated to the environment of Tamir. Now, we also see some trucks that we haven't really touched on yet. Well, you guys have seen the models themselves, but you haven't really seen too much about the attachments that are on them. So there's a lot of really interesting things to go over and analyze in this trailer. And they also show some trucks driving together in seemingly a multiplayer environment. So this is one of the most interesting environments they've shown yet, and I've gone down and broken down the entire trailer for you guys so that you guys can hone in on every little detail coming up in the rest of the video. Now, kicking off our trailer analysis, first off, I want to again give a big thank you and shout out to Terminator and Prince for allowing me to use that dodge, and also the very first shot we're going to be taking a look at is one of the new scout vehicles, and as you can easily see, this is from really like the first frame of the trailer aside from where they announced the Tamir location, and you can easily tell that it's lifted, has aftermarket wheels, and has aftermarket tires, obviously. So this thing has definitely been modified. Now, moving on, the next shot was really interesting to me because it honed in on a truck we haven't really seen much about. Now, here we're looking sort of up at the truck, sort of from like a lower like corner view, and we can easily see that this truck doesn't look all that modified apart from the bumper and the horns on top. Looks kind of Freightliner-ish. Somebody can correct me on that in the comments below if I'm wrong. But as you can see, it's got something in the trailer that's sort of, it looks to be machinery related. And we get another look at this truck later on. But you can also see it looks like it's definitely having to tackle some mud, at least from the looks of where the camera angle was. Now, this trailer also did a really good job of including some very pretty environment shots, and just as the water in MudRunner was very pretty, the water in SnowRunner, I think, is even cooler looking because they've done a really good job of brightening up the entire environment. I mean, look how clear and blue the sky is. I mean, that's what MudRunner looks like with a graphics mod. So the fact that, you know, people are going to be able to, especially on console, people are going to be able to have a brighter environment rather than that sort of gray, dark, dismal environment all the time. Not that it's a bad look, but I feel like people, including myself, definitely got tired of that darker, grayer environment. I'm really happy that we're going to get a brighter environment right out of the box. Now, looking at this next shot, just straight up gave me rock crawler vibes all freaking day. Now, this is really cool because it means that your mods will actually kind of have a place on the factory maps. I say factory as in, like, you know, that's what came from the game stock, but it's still cool that you've got these like big rock formations and cliff formations in the, you know, in the stock maps that let's say whether you're a PC player or a console player, you know, and mods come to you on console like a little bit later, but still they'll be there. Let's say you've got a rock crawler mod or a rock bouncer mod or whatever, and you're like, I don't have any modded maps, but I still want some place to go and test this mod out. There you go. Now, in this next shot, we get a look at one of the new pieces of equipment, and on the back of this 8x8, we see what we have discovered to be I believe they call it the seismic vibrator, which is a device used to, well, I shouldn't say device, more of a machine used to locate oil. Now, they haven't really dived too much into the specifics of, you know, how that oil search or oil discovery gameplay dynamic will work, but it's definitely very different from the hauling dynamic, and I think it's going to be a really cool dynamic of the game to explore and see what it's all about. Now, out of the whole trailer, few shots made me more excited than this one. Now, obviously, it's a quarry environment. You've got your excavator, you've got your, you know, areas that have been dug out, some areas that haven't been dug out yet, and this is actually the same environment where we saw the screenshot that was circulating around a few weeks back where the Freightliner had the long big crane on it. So I'm not sure if that crane relates directly to a task that you'll be doing in the quarry, but I do know that there'll be something that you as a player will have to do in that quarry related to the crane that was on that Freightliner. So I don't know if that crane will be exclusively for that job, but I know that there's a job down there, or we can at least assume there's a job down there that will be related to using that extra long crane. So that, and just the fact that I love quarry environments in these games in general, and the fact that we've only really seen them in mod maps up until now, is really, really cool, because it's cool to see them adapting, you know, characteristics of things we've enjoyed from mod maps and going like, oh yeah, we'll put that into a stock map, sure. Now here you guys will get a little bit of a glimpse into what a multiplayer scenario could look like. This definitely looks like a more wide open part of the map, a little bit more grassland style, but as you can see, we have actually a really typical multiplayer scenario here. We have a heavy with a big trailer and a load on it, albeit not a very large load on that trailer, but still a objective-based load on the trailer, and we see a support truck potentially with a lot of repair points and possibly garage points following it with what is most likely your utility upgrade that you'll be able to put onto these trucks once you get them into the garage. Up next, I really wanted to hone in a little bit on this close-up shot of this vehicle, because while it is the same vehicle that we saw at the beginning of the trailer, I'm not exactly sure if it's the same wheel and tire package. I'm not sure if they changed the wheel and tire package or if that's the same. Also, look at the horn on the fender. That's a little bit odd, and I don't think that that's something these come with from factory. So that's an interesting upgrade to look at. I'm not sure why you would put it there. I don't think I would put it there personally, but I think it's something that is potentially going to be available to put there. But then again, that vehicle in general is just kind of an odd-looking vehicle, so I think it's potentially going to be your main primary starting scout for that map. But again, those are details that we'll have to discover moving forward. Now here we get another look at your oil search device, and the cool thing that I keep noticing about this map is that some areas look very, very new and different and unlike anything we've seen before, and then other areas like this one look like they're reminiscent of maps dating all the way back to the original Spin Tires. Not even Mud Runner, but stuff dating all the way back to the original Spin Tires and even the tech demo. I mean, looking out across these little flowers and seeing, you know, like the short trees and like stuff like that, or like around the dirt road, that actually screams original Spin Tires tech demo to me. I'm not even talking about Spin Tires itself. I'm talking about the Spin Tires tech demo. So I'm definitely getting a lot of new vibes and also a lot of, like, you know, cool, like old school vibes from a lot of these shots, which is cool. Now up next, we're going to be taking a look at what I can only assume is a lumber mill. It looks like what a lumber mill would look like in this particular region. It doesn't look exactly the same as the way the lumber mills have looked in Mud Runner, but what I think would be really cool is if they make all the lumber mills look different. I mean, in Mud Runner, we really got used to seeing a very similar type of lumber mill, just kind of across almost all of the scenarios, and they all sort of ran together after a while. But if they mix up the way the lumber mills look and really tailor them to each region, I think that'll do a lot for immersion. Potentially one of the coolest shots of the whole trailer is this. Now, why would they take the time to focus on a train track on a railroad if you weren't gonna do anything with it? Now, we don't know if that's just there as a prop or as a set piece, or if it actually has some sort of functional purpose. If it does have a functional purpose, that would be absolutely insane. And also, take a look at those rock formations. Remember how I was talking about being able to use like off-roaders and crawlers and, you know, basically modded vehicles in certain areas of stock maps? That definitely looks like an area where you could have a lot of fun with a crawler. And what SnowRunner trailer would be complete without having a look at the Hummer? Now, this Hummer, we've sort of seen multiple variants of the Hummer at this point, and most of the variants of the Hummer we've seen have been running that sloped back, like sort of like that sloped back sort of tent, like bed cover tent, as well as the taillight protection, a roof rack, and these tires. They seem to really, really like running the almost ATV slash UTV looking like mud tires, sort of really like, you know, kind of almost like digger style mud tires on the Hummer. That seems to be a very popular choice for them. But I don't know if this is exactly the way I would customize a Hummer in SnowRunner, but leave your thoughts in the comments below on how you are going to be setting up your personal Hummer in SnowRunner, because I feel like the Hummer is going to be one of those vehicles where everybody's going to have a different opinion on how they want to customize it. Now, remember that piece of equipment on the back of a truck in the beginning? This is that same setup. So same truck, same trailer, but now we can get a little bit of a closer look at the equipment on the back of the trailer. And it looks to me like it's probably a piece of a larger piece of equipment or of a larger machine, and I'm assuming it's some sort of either machinery delivery or machinery parts delivery. I really haven't seen much on this particular trailer load yet, so that one will definitely have to wait for a little bit more information on before we can actually say, you know, definitely what it is. But at the end of the day, I think it's a really cool trailer load, and I also want to hear your thoughts in the comments below on what you think that could be, because I don't want to say anything on it before we know exactly what it is, because I keep looking at it and I'm like, it could be for this, it could be for this, it could be for this, and I'm like, I'm not exactly sure. But again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think that is, or what you guys think it could be related to. Now, to wrap up, we have another seemingly multiplayer scenario shot where we have a fuel truck up front, and then we have another freight liner in the back hauling a massive load of what looks to be pipes. Looks to be pipes. It could be boards, but it looks to be pipes to me. The only reason why I say it looks to be pipes is even though they're square, they're hollow, and that's the reason why I'm calling them pipes. They could be beams, whatever the game wants to refer to them as, like pipes, beams. I mean, I know there's going to be somebody in the comments that's like, you can't have a square pipe, it's got to be round. And I get that, but they're hollow, and I don't know what the game is going to call them. But that's the weird thing about it is as you look at that shot, they're just heading up towards kind of like a rundown looking house, and that rundown house is like straight out of MudRunner American Wilds. So I'm sure they're going to have some assets here and there that they're going to put in the game that people are going to recognize and be like, hey, I recognize that. But what I hope they do is I hope that they have a nice mixture where it's not like, you know, not like all old assets, but, you know, you definitely like see some assets here and there that are sort of reminiscent of the previous game. Now, if you guys have any thoughts or opinions on any of the things we talked about in this video, please leave them in the comments section down below. Also, like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to stay up to date on SnowRunner all the way out to launch, and then, of course, for all of our SnowRunner content once the game actually fully launches. And then, as well, if you have any friends that are trying to find SnowRunner news, share this video with them, share the other videos with them that we've done to help catch them up so they don't have to do all sorts of like crazy research. But with all of that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.